Japan is a megalithic culture. Many of the megaliths in Japan have never really been properly studied. If you have a relatively short time frame, searching for a lost civilization becomes much more complex and much more difficult. But if you have a very long time frame to deal with, there's much more material to investigate. And I wonder if some other sites have been misinterpreted, if sites are multi-layered, that many different cultures have been involved in them.
Imagine standing before a vast network of subterranean caverns, extending thousands of square meters deep into the earth, carved from the unique volcanic tuff known as Oya Stone. The caverns at the Oya Stone Quarry in Utsunomiya were first created centuries ago, and it seems nearly impossible for humans of that era to have shaped such an immense and complex structure with nothing more than rudimentary tools and sheer human effort. Yet, somehow they did. Was there more at play here than meets the eye?
I can't help thinking time capsule, that there was an intention to preserve this.
Fast forward to today, and despite our advanced technology and engineering prowess, replicating such a feat remains a formidable challenge. This marvel of both natural formation and human endeavour invites us to explore its depths, uncovering the secrets held within its echoing chambers and imposing walls.
I want to know what else is going to be found that hasn't been investigated yet at all. We're just touching the edge of a huge mystery.
The history of the Oya Stone Quarry reveals a fascinating evolution in Japan's building practices, showcasing the transition from localized resource extraction to large-scale industrial use. Although the exact date of the quarry's discovery isn't precisely documented, evidence suggests that small-scale extraction began around the Heian period.
The history is largely that period for which we have written documents, and archaeology is the period before that where we don't have written documents.
The stone's unique properties quickly made it popular for local construction needs, particularly in building religious structures like temples and shrines. Its ease of carving, when freshly quarried, made it ideal for creating the detailed sculptures and iconography integral to these religious sites. During the Edo period, the use of Oya stone expanded significantly, driven by economic and social changes. Under the relative peace of the Tokugawa shogunate, Japan experienced urbanization, which increased the demand for durable building materials. Oya stone's enhanced fire resistance made it particularly valuable in Edo, where densely built urban areas were prone to fires. Technological advancements in extraction techniques also contributed to this expansion. The introduction of better chiseling tools and systematic methods for removing large blocks from deeper layers reflected a growing sophistication in mining practices. The demand for Oya stone grew as Edo and other cities expanded, requiring massive quantities of durable materials. The stone was extensively used in constructing walls, bridges, and infrastructure capable of withstanding the elements and frequent fires, which were common in wooden cities. As the demand increased, the shogunate began to regulate quarrying operations more strictly. This regulation ensured sustainable extraction practices, preserving the resource for longer periods. When comparing Oya stone to European limestone, we see both materials were used extensively for similar purposes, such as building constructions and statues, especially in fire-sensitive areas. Both stones share the valuable property of hardening over time, making them ideal for enduring structures. However, the cultural context of their use differed. European limestone usage often emphasized aesthetic qualities alongside practical considerations, while in Japan, the practical applications of Oya stone, particularly its fire resistance, were more prominently valued. Tracing its operations back to around 800 AD during the early Heian period, the Oya Stone Quarry's origins coincide with a time of consolidation of power in the Japanese imperial court. Initially, the stone was utilized for constructing the foundations and lower structures of buildings in local villages, owing to its accessibility and ease of carving when freshly quarried. Oya stone's unique property of being relatively soft when first quarried, but hardening upon exposure to air allowed ancient builders to carve it easily during the initial stages of construction. Once exposed to air, the stone would solidify, forming a durable structure. As the Heian period progressed, and the cultural center of Japan shifted to Kyoto, the architectural demand grew. The stone's popularity increased, likely due to its fire-resistant properties. By the late Heian period, Oya stone was being transported beyond the local region, finding its way into more significant and prestigious construction projects, including temples, shrines, and statues across Japan. Historical records often highlight its use in state-sponsored construction projects, suggesting its rising importance. The increasing demand for Oya stone led to the expansion of quarry operations. Techniques for quarrying evolved from simple manual methods to more organized mining activities involving larger labor forces. The quarry became a focal point for the development of the local economy, providing numerous jobs and leading to the growth of surrounding communities. There is a theory that the quarry was discovered and initially developed under the auspices of the imperial family of Japan, who might have used it to demonstrate their divine right to rule by building temples and palaces using this unique stone. This theory is partly based on the frequent use of Oya stone in imperial and noble projects during the Heian period. The stone's distinctiveness and the grandeur it imparted to buildings would have symbolized the celestial and exalted status of the emperor. Transitioning from this historical perspective, the underground caverns of the Oya Stone Quarry in Utsunomiya, Tochigi Prefecture offer a fascinating study in geology, history, and acoustics. Spanning an impressive 20,000 square meters, this vast network developed over centuries of mining, creating a subterranean landscape with varying heights and widths. Some sections plunged to depths of 60 meters, equivalent to the height of a 20-story building, adding a significant vertical dimension to the cavern's complexity. The walls of these caverns, carved directly from Oya stone, bear distinct marks from pickaxes and chisels, serving as historical records of the quarry's operational past. These markings narrate the evolution of mining technology and techniques over the years. Occasionally, tools and other artifacts left behind by miners are discovered within the caverns, preserved as part of the site's historical display. Natural features within the stone, such as variations in color, vein patterns, and pockets of different mineral compositions, provide additional insights into the region's geological history. Renowned for their unique acoustic properties, the caverns allow for minimal echo and clarity of sound that is highly prized in musical performances. The porosity and density of Oya stone absorb and dampen sound effectively, making the caverns a coveted recording venue for artists seeking a unique sound environment that traditional studios cannot easily replicate. Comparatively, the underground caverns of the Oya Stone Quarry can be likened to the ancient underground cities of Cappadocia in Turkey. Both are carved directly into volcanic rock, yet they served different primary purposes. Oya's caverns were primarily industrial, while Cappadocia's were designed for habitation and protection, complete with living quarters, churches, and ventilation shafts. An intriguing theory suggests that the extensive network and depth of the Oya caverns could have provided strategic military advantages during historical conflicts. Given their depth and complexity, the caverns could have served as hiding spots or secret passages during times of war. This theory is supported by Japan's historical precedents for utilizing landscape features in military strategies, such as using fog and terrain advantages in battles.